Okay, if you're a developer building with AI, you know the dream, right? Getting an AI to actually understand and use your specific data. Well, Google just dropped a new tool for its Gemini API called File Search, and honestly, it might just be the game changer we've all been waiting for.
I mean, just imagine it for a second. An AI that can answer questions based on your company's internal reports or your personal documents or even a massive library of your own code. It's a concept called grounding, basically connecting a super powerful AI to a specific set of knowledge to make its answers accurate, relevant, and verifiable. It's pretty much the holy grail for creating specialized AI assistants. The thing is, making it happen? Well, that's been anything but easy.
So the technology that powers all of this is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. And until now, building a system that can do this effectively has been, frankly, a massive headache for developers.
At its core, RAG is basically about giving an AI a library card. So instead of just relying on the huge general knowledge it was trained on, it can go to a specific library, your library, and pull out the exact book or page it needs to answer a question correctly.
But, as this quote from ThinkTools.ai points out, building that library and teaching the AI how to use it is a straight-up ordeal. It's not just one step, it's this whole complicated pipeline that developers have had to build and maintain completely from scratch.
I mean, just look at this. This is what developers have had to build by hand. First, you have to ingest the files. Then you have to figure out the best way to break them into smaller pieces. That's chunking. Then you have to turn those pieces into a format the AI understands, which are called embeddings. Then you have to set up and manage a specialized vector database, fine-tune the search logic, and finally stitch it all together in a prompt for the model. Every single one of these steps introduces more cost, more latency, and another place where things can go wrong. It's a lot.
And this is exactly where Google's new File Search tool comes in. It takes that entire ordeal we just talked about and packages it into one simple, elegant solution. You can really think of it as RAG in a box.
Yeah, this quote from Chrome on Box just absolutely nails it. All that magic of grounding, which used to be this complex engineering challenge, is now just being handed to developers as a single, powerful tool.
Now, compare that crazy 6-step pipeline we just saw with this. With File Search, the process is just radically simplified. You create a file store, you upload your files, and you ask your question. That is it. Google handles literally everything else in the background. The difference is just, it's staggering. It's night and day.
So, how does Google pull this off? Well, the secret sauce here is a really powerful technique called semantic search, which lets you build a far more intelligent system. The difference is pretty stark. A traditional keyword search is kind of like asking a librarian to find all the books with the word Rome in the title. Sure, you'll get what you asked for, but you're going to miss a whole lot. Semantic search, on the other hand, is like having a hyper-intelligent librarian who understands what you actually mean. You can ask about something like political intrigue during the late Republic, and it will find the relevant passages even if they don't use those exact words. It gets the context, not just the keywords.
And the way it does this is through something called embeddings. When you upload a document, File Search converts your text into these numerical representations. A good way to think of them is like coordinates on a map of meaning. Words and phrases that have similar meanings are placed closer together on this map. So when you ask a question, the tool just converts your query into coordinates and finds the closest, most relevant data points. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so the tech is super impressive, but what about the practical features? And maybe most importantly, what's it going to cost? Let's take a look. So File Search comes packed with everything you'd need. It's got that powerful vector search we just talked about. It has built-in citations, which is absolutely critical for trust and verification. The AI actually tells you exactly where it got its information from. It supports a huge range of file types, from PDFs to code. And it manages all the storage and the chunking automatically for you. No more headaches.
All right, let's talk pricing. When you first upload and index your files, you pay a one-time fee of just 15 cents per 1 million tokens. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 750,000 words. But that one-time fee isn't even the most interesting part of the whole pricing model.
Because this is the real game changer. The ongoing costs that usually nickel and dime you in a RAG system, the file storage and the processing of your questions every time you ask one, are completely free. This makes building and scaling a grounded AI application unbelievably cost-effective. This all sounds amazing in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's check out an early user who really put File Search to the test.
So, Phaser Studio, the creators of an AI-driven game generation platform called Beam, they integrated file search to sift through this massive library of over 3,000 different files. We're talking code snippets, design documents, you name it.
And the results were just stunning. A task like manually cross-referencing information across all those documents, which used to take them hours of work, can now be done with a file search query in under 2 seconds. That is not just an incremental improvement. That is a fundamental transformation of how they work.
And here's the crucial point. It's what this speed makes possible. Like Phaser Studio says, ideas that used to take days just to prototype can now become playable game mechanics in a matter of minutes. This is a massive, massive acceleration for any creative or development cycle.
So, how does Google's new tools stack up against the competition? To really get its impact, we need to look at the broader RAG landscape for a second.
If you look at that integration level column, you can see the key difference right away. While other major players like OpenAI, AWS, and Azure, they all offer RAG capabilities, they often require you to string together multiple different services. You might need to manage your own vector storage or make separate API calls. But Google's file search is different because it's fully integrated.
And this is really the core value proposition. Google has taken that entire pipeline and just hidden it away. That multi-step ordeal we saw at the beginning, it is now handled by a single API call. This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for any developer out there who wants to build these powerful, grounded AI applications.
By making this tech so accessible and so affordable, Google has basically opened the floodgates. I mean, imagine AI tutors that have mastered every single textbook you give them, or expert systems for doctors that can synthesize a hospital's entire research library in just seconds. The question really isn't if you can build an AI grounded in your own data anymore, but what incredible things are you going to build with it? What new possibilities will this unlock?